statement, the same transcript that is before you. We are now going to page 33.
Yes,
Line number 15 to 20, my lord. Page 33, line number 15 to 20.
So it reads as follows, my lord. It says, my lord, so after the warning that was given to him in terms of section 35, established as to what he wants to do, it was there, my lord, that he is prepared to talk to me without any attorney, and he was, or he did not choose the right to remain silent, my lord, and he did not elect to remain silent. Rather, my lord, he, I can't, it says intervene.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Mangifunda lana kubhaliwe ukuthi ngemva kokuthi ngikhulume naye yena uye washo ukuthi ufuna ukuqhubeka nokukhuluma lokho bekuchaza ukuthi ukhetheke ukuthi ayeke leliyalungelo lokuthi athule.
This is accused number 2 you were referring to as him here, am I correct?
No, I'll have to go back and check, my lord.
Oh, okay, maybe.
I can't say by reading this paragraph, I can't say this relates to accused number 2 or 1. I'll have to look at the line of questioning.
Let's start on line number 8.
8.
8, line number 8 on the same page. You see under Mr. Baloyi? Yes, just before we get to that, what led to you going to Carltonville on the 18th of June 2020?
Yes.
Can you recall now? This is the incident which took place on the 18th, and the state was asking you regarding the incident that took place on the 18th
Yes.
of June 2022.
Yes, I do recall, my lord.
Yebo ngiyakhumbula ukuthi lokho bekade kubuzwa umshushisi engibuza ngodaba elenzakele nge-18 zika June 2020.
And your response, if I can also read it into the record so that you can refresh your memory. It was the fact that Sergeant Mohane informed me that they will be going there for other investigations, but also in relation to certain alibi that he may have given them in relation to this matter. By he, I think you meant accused number 2.
That's correct, my lord. I do recall that.
Uthi yebo ngiyakhumbula ke ngoba la uchaza khona kukhuluma uSergeant Mohane ebekade ethi baya khona bayophenya ngelinye ngokunye obese umsolwa ebatshele kona uthi ngiyavuma ukuthi bengikhuluma ngomsolwa wesilisa.
Brigadier, you yourself in your own words in line number 15, you are referring to warnings. Line number 15, my lord. So after the warning that was given to him in terms of section 35, you see that line?
Yes, I do.
Yes. And all the paragraph, the content of the paragraph, wherein the accused also made a selection of choice. Am I correct if I read this paragraph?
No. Where do I refer to your paragraph, my lord? I see, because that's not what I see. I see, my response says, my lord, so after the warning that that was given to him in terms of section 35, I established as to what he wants to do. It was clear, my lord, that he is prepared to talk to me without an attorney, and he was, or he did not choose the right to remain silent. My lord, he did not elect to remain silent, rather, and then there was intervention. So
Okay.
I don't see anything that refers to paragraph of warnings here.
No, don't worry, I'll take you step by step, Brigadier. Don't rush. On line number 18, or maybe let's start 17, says, it was clear, my lord, that he is prepared to talk to me without an attorney, and he did not choose the right to remain silent. Those are the two choices that were made by the accused.
Yes, we agree, my lord.
Then,
Yebo ukhethe umsolwa ukhethe ukukhuluma nami engenammeli futhi wakhetha nokuthi angathuli.
I'm still going back to the same format that we introduced when I started the cross-examination. The choice, it's a constitutional right that was chosen by the accused. That one of electing to talk to you without an attorney.
No.
That's the choice that was made by the accused. Then my question is, from this evidence that you testified about, was this the election made by accused number 2 recorded?
No, my lord, that dealt with this aspect, really, because you get formal and informal interview. There has never been a situation when police officers question somebody, they will start writing a warning statement or a warning form. There was an interview in terms of Section 35 where his rights were read to him. He made response, which I've summarized. When you talk about rights, my lord, even when people are arrested on daily basis on the street, nowhere do police officers start writing warning statements. They will give them their rights, take them into custody, and then the formality starts there. That's what I've explained over and over again. There is no situation, this is nothing unique.
Can you allow interpretation, please?
I will, I'm almost done. There is nowhere, my lord, where I've never seen an instance. Personally, in my, almost 8 years in the police, I've never embarked on a situation where I go and arrest the person and I'm already sitting with a notice of rights where I must record what I'm telling him and the warning statement. I've never seen one doing that, and definitely I've never done that. That's not how it's done, my lord, in the police.
Angikaze mina esiphoyiseni ngibone iphoyisa nanoma emalangeni nje uma kwenzakala amaphoyisa libela sebenza ngibone iphoyisa uma libopha umuntu nasemgaqweni bese libhala phansi lamalungelo lawa asikhuluma ngawo. Cha, amalungelo aye achazwe abhalwe phansi uma sekwenzakala umuntu ephakathi esiphoyiseni noma ephakathi police station. Kodwa emgaqweni nje uma sihamba asihambi siphethe lencwadi le ebizwa phecelezi i-warning statement le ekubhalwa khona amalungelo phethe bese kubhalwa ne-statement. Akaze kwayenzeka uthi ubrigadier useka neminyaka mhlawumbe engalingana na30 elibele sesiphoyiseni kodwa lokho akakhumbuli kwenzakala.
Furthermore, my lord, sorry, concern. Furthermore, my lord, it should be clear that my interaction with both accused 1 and 2, when one was trying to establish as to whether they are prepared to make these confessions, or when they were talking to me to say, they want to make this confession and obviously meeting the requirements, that was a preliminary stage. The formality, which I think is what the questions of counsel constantly goes there, lies with the officers who documented the confessions. Those are the relevant people who formally took the confessions.
Futhi ke mina uma ngikhuluma nabasolwa wokumsolwa umangalelo wokuqala nowesibini ngaleso sikhathi ngisakhuluma nabo bekunyenanto ebhalwayo. Abantu ababhalile yilaba ukuthi baye bayogunyuluka kubo kulayi ukuthi bona ke baye babhala phansi.
Thank you, Brigadier, for that. But all I wanted to hear from you is whether the election of choice that was made by the accused was recorded. It's clear that it was not recorded. Let's stop it there.
No,
it's fine.
No, recorded where, my lord? Because I've explained to counsel. Because when counsel says it's not recorded, it's not true. I've indicated various documents where I've made reference of this. The only document where she and I are on the same page is that this 3M she referred me to was not used. If the question is in relation to that, yes, it was not used, and I gave reasons as to why. But to say it was not recorded because it's a general statement, then that is incorrect.
Uma ummeli ethi akuzange kubhalwe ndawo lento umsolo ayikhethile uthi akulona iqiniso ubrigadier ngoba ngibhalile futhi nestatement ngizenzile mina nommeli siyavumelana okunye asivumelana.
And furthermore, on the same paragraph, which is between line number 15 to line number 20, we are also referring to the warning that was given to him in terms of section 35. You see that?
Yes, I saw it,
line number
my
15
lord.
and 16.
Yes, I'm seeing it, my lord.
Okay. Which rights were you referring to in terms of section 35 then? Which warnings? Because we are saying the warning that was given to him in terms of section 35. Which warnings
a right to remain silent, a right not to give self-incriminating evidence, the consequences of doing such, the right to an attorney, the right to have one appointed on his behalf if he cannot afford one, a right not to be compelled to make admissions or confessions, a right to be detained in an environment that is suitable with the human condition, and a right to challenge the legality of his arrest if it sees that it's unlawful, and to be discharged from such detention if the law such detects, my lord.
Amaphi amalungelo labo kade umchazisela ngawo umsolwa njengoba usho ukuthi ubokade umchazisela amalungelo uthi ngimchazisela amalungelo ukuthi angaba nommeli, amalungelo ukuthi athule angakhuluma izinto ezingagcina sezikuthi zimfaka enkingeni, unelungelo lokuthi angahle abuze noma acele ukwazi ukuthi uboshelweni futhi yena angahle lokho akulandelisise, futhi unelungelo lokuthi abe nommeli, unelungelo futhi nokuthi azi nokuthi kahle kahle kwenzakalani. Umchazisele ubrigadier uthi wonke amalungelo wakhe ukuya ngomthetho sisekelo.
And there is no proof that those rights were explained to the accused because there is no document recorded for the interview that these are the rights that were explained by myself to the accused, and I signed and the accused signed to confirm or to acknowledge that the rights have been explained to him. Accused number 2.
Yeah, my lord, with greatest respect, I've answered counsel on this part many times. In the diary that I documented, and I refer to this document, it is clearly indicated that Section 35, constitutional rights were given to the accused. And I've explained over and over again, my lord, that the formality, it's a procedure, it's not my doing. The formality of SAP 14A exists in the holding cells. Every police officer who arrests and detains people, they will only issue the notice of rights formally in the holding cells, and that is the only document where the person who gives the rights will sign and the accused will also sign. There is no prescribed document that the ACPS give to members to go and issue on the street and people sign as and when they are arrested. It's a 14A, SAP 14A, which you find in the holding cells. If the insinuation is that there should have been a document that is signed when he was interviewed here, my lord, there is no such document that exists or prescribed by the police.
Uyaphinda ummeli uthi lamalungelo kusho ukuthi akukho la ukuthi aye wabhalwa kuye kwabhalwa khona. Uthi ubrigadier mina ngiyaphinda ngithi lokho besise ngikushilo ukuthi asihambe siphethe le yancwadi yamalungelo futhi le yancwadi ekubhalwa kuyo. Mina ke ngithi lokho kuyaye kwenzeke uma sewumuntu esemaselini bese kulayi ukuthi kuyabhalwa bese kuyasayinwa yonke into ebekade achazisele yona ngamalungelo wakhe.
Okay. Thank you, Brigadier. Do you agree with me, Brigadier, that at that time when you had this interview with accused number 2, he was a suspect?
Yes, he was a suspect, the person of interest, in relation to this matter, my lord. I do agree.
Uyavuma ukuthi ngalesikhathi ukhuluma nomsolwa wesibini wayekade esase umsolwa engakabi ummangalelwa uthi yebo ngiyavuma.
And the form which I've referred to earlier on, which is SAP S3M, says it must be completed when whether the interview is between the suspect or an accused person.
No, that's not what it says, my lord. That's absolutely not correct. That's not what this form says. And I would like to read it, my lord, so that I'm not seen to be arguing with counsel. Paragraph 1, subsection A says, the station commander must consult with the prosecutor on circumstances in which the prosecutor requires that a warning statement of a suspect be obtained. That's the essence of it. There was no directive from me by the prosecutor to say, go and interview this person.
The second line on the same paragraph that we are reading, it says, this statement must be completed every time the suspect is interviewed, irrespective of whether the suspect has been arrested or not. The same paragraph.
Yes, but my lord, it is a flow of information. Counsel wants to select. You start in 1. That's why they tell you that before you get to 2, these are the directives. There must be a combination between NPA and the police. Then you flow going down. That's why it tells you, even if you have to interview this person 10 times, as long as there's a directive by NPA, then you document it. In my situation, there was no directive by NPA. So, and I did indicate, my lord, that it's a warning form, which is not the only form where warning statements are taken.
Pinda uchaza ubrigadier lento bekayichaze ekseni namhlanje ukuthi uma kunolwazi noma kunokuthi abashushisi batshele bona ukuthi hambani niyobuza lo muntu imibuzo, lokho yinto eyikuthi iyaye ibhalwe noma ngesinye isikhathi ayibhalwa, njengoba bekachazile ukuthi akusilona lodwa leli phepha ekuthi liyasetshenziswa uma umuntu ehlonywa imibuzo. Ummeli uthi la ngaphansi kuthiwa umsolwa muphi namuphi kwamele uma ehlonywa imibuzo kubhalwe phansi. Uthi lokho yinto ekuthi ilandelela ngamba kale sebengiyifundile, kwamele silandelele yonke imithetho ngamunye ngamunye.
Thank you, Brigadier. Can you just turn the page on the same document? Turn the page.
Which document?
The warning statement. The warning statement. You are a member of the SAPS. You can't distance yourself from knowing the warning statement. It's a warning statement that is in front of you. I'm asking you to turn the page.
My lord,
there is a page
if a witness tries to understand, counsel is dealing with two documents at the same time. If the witness tries to get clarity, he's owed the courtesy of being so directed without the type of utterances that are being directed to the witness.
My lord, the state is not correct, my lord. With the witness, we are on the same page. We are dealing with the warning statement. We have been rereading into the record, paragraph 1. We are on the warning statement. There is no confusion there. We are not on the transcript, we are on the warning statement.
My lord, I disagree. The question arose from me because we're not on the same page with counsel. That's why I asked which document she's referring to. So we're not in the same page. Otherwise, I was not going to ask the question.
Okay, no problem. Let's continue. I'm in this document. Maybe you'll understand it if you see it.
No, it's sufficient to say a warning statement, my lord.
Yes.
I understand.
That's the document I'm referring to. Prescribed by SAPS, where you are working. I just ask you to turn the page, because this document is not numbered, but after the certificate by interpreter, which is paragraph 3, if you turn that page, you'll find this page. Which says,
This paragraph, what is the number in terms of the paragraph?
no, there is no number here. It says statements regarding interview with suspect. It's written in capital letters.
So,
okay, to cut matters short, let me.
this one.
My lord, can I just hand this into the witness so that you can see? This is the page I'm referring to. You can have a look and return it back.
Yes, no,
You
it's the
see
same
it?
page. It's the
Okay,
same page,
thank you.
yes.
I'll ask you, Brigadier, to read it into the record, what is written there in capital letters, not the whole document. South African Police Station case number and what is written there?
Statement regarding interview with suspect.
Okay, thank you.
Should I read?
No, that's all I wanted.
Okay.
Le incwadi ekuthi ikhuluma ngama statement uma kubuzwa umsolwa.
You had indicated that when you interviewed accused number 2, you indicated that he did not want to appoint a legal representative.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So it means he was not legally represented on the 18th and also on the 19th.
Yes, that's, I'm aware of that, my lord.
Okay.
Uthe uma ukhuluma nomsolo wesibini yena uye wathi ubekade engafisi ukuba nommeli, okuchaza ukuthi nge-18 nange-19 wayekade engenammeli, uthi yebo iqiniso.
Okay. When did you become aware that the accused number 2 was represented by Mr. Meyiwa?
On the 23rd of June, 2020, my lord.
Wazenini ukuthi ummangalelo wesibini ubekade emelwe ummeli uMeyiwa uthi nge-23 zika June 2020.
Okay, where?
Where he was detained in the holding cells, my lord. I think it's Pretoria North or Mort, my lord. It's documented in my diary, my lord, which I gave to the defense.
Waze kuphi uthi la umsolo wayekade eboshwe khona ePretoria North noma eMort bekade ibhaliwe kwi-diary yakhe?
Yeah, Mr. Gininda is a senior member of the SAPS. You have given the information to the defense, but the information given to the defense cannot just testify for itself. You are here to testify.
No, but I testified about it. I led this evidence in my evidence in chief, my lord, and Mr. Mgomuzili asked me about it. So I'm repeating myself over and over again on what I was asked by the defense counsel for 1 and 2. It's a repetition of what was put to me by Mr. Mgomuzili after I led this evidence in chief. If I recall, my lord, there was even a time where the court ordered that all defense counsel must actually peruse the diary physically before copies were made. Subsequent to that, because I was dealing with that part in my evidence in chief, I dealt with it with Mr. Mgomezulu. Now I'm repeating the same thing. So it's not the first time I'm saying this, my lord.
Lento ngishoyo angiqala ukuyisho ngoba ngiyengabuzwa ummeli uMngomezulu engibuza imibuzo ngayo le ndaba ye diary, futhi inkantolo yathi abameli babone le diary ukuthi kubhalweni, into eyikuthi ibeyiseke yachazwa. Angiqale ukukhuluma ngayo.
Was it your first time to see or to meet with Mr. Meyiwa on that day?
Yes, it was. I didn't know him from time immemorial. That was the first time for me, my lord, to see him.
Boqala ukuhlangana nomnumzana uMeyiwa ngalelo langa uthi yebo bengiqala.
Brigadier, you'll answer this question if you know. Do you know that Meyiwa has been a member of the SAPS up until 2017?
No,
2016, sorry.
No, I wouldn't know, my lord.
You don't know that?
No, I wouldn't know. We didn't discuss that.
And
we are not acquainted, and I never worked with him. If he was in the police, I certainly didn't come across him or interacted with him in any matter for that matter.
And in this matter, when you were in... Sorry.
You may proceed.
Okay. In this matter, when you were investigating this matter, you testified that you were working with the Crime Intelligence Unit. Am I correct?
I said it was driven, crime intelligence driven operation. So there was intelligence gathering that was present. That's correct, my lord.
Ukwazi nawo ukuthi uMeyiwa uke waba yiphoyisa fikela ngo-2016 uthi cha bengingazi uthi angaze ngikhulume naye ngalokho besikade singahlobenanga ngalokho thina sihlangene nje ezomela umsolo wesibini, futhi uthe naleli cala leli bekade kunabaphenyi abangocwepheshe uthi yebo lolu phenyo kuhlangene bekade kunabaphenyi abangocwepheshe futhi.
And Meyiwa was working in the unit of Crime Intelligence Unit. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know, my lord. As I said, and I'm repeating it without fear of contradiction, my lord, I've never worked with him. If he was in the police, I've never come across him. That was my first time, my lord.
Please, my lord, my learned friend is putting it as a fact. I don't know what the basis of putting it so strongly or elevating this to a fact that Mr. Meyiwa worked for crime intelligence. If my learned friend can perhaps lay the basis for that submission.
Thank you, my lord. Can I proceed to the next question, my lord? Lastly, Brigadier, have you ever been accused in your years of service? Have you ever been accused of forcing people to confess and to make statements?
Please, my lord, we submit that that question is inadmissible. It's character evidence, and
that's the court business, my lord. Those are my submissions. Thank you.
Uthusakaqedile ke ummeli ukubuza ubrigadier imibuzo.
Any exam?
Yes. Indeed, my lord. Brigadier Mr. Mgomezulu, on behalf of accused number 1 and 2, put it to you that is now regarding the events of the 19th of June 2020. He put it to you that perhaps let's deal with the events of the 24th of June 2020. After the statement was made to a magistrate, he put it to you that after the alleged confession on the 24th of June 2020, accused number 2 was taken to an industrial area near Germiston where he was assaulted and he bled, and blood stains spilled on the confession documents. And he further put it to you that the documents that accused number 2 signed must have some blood stains. Now, if I can request you to take out the confession, exhibit JJ, that accused number 2 made to a magistrate, and just page by page, just to show it to the court and court personnel as to whether there's any evidence of blood stains on that document.
Indeed, my
Sorry,
lord.
my lord, may I just correct the state in terms of what I actually initially put to the presiding officer to say the document.
You put it to me.
No, the presiding officer, Mrs. Cronje,
I see.
that was put as a version of accused number 2, was that the document that Mrs. Cronje, that she was in possession of, is not the same document, because the document that accused number 2 alleges that when he signed the document, he was bleeding and blood stains, the blood spilled on the pages. It was put straightforward to say that document is not the same document.
So there are 2 documents signed then.
Apparently,
Wait,
according
wait,
to the
wait. By
version.
inference of logic,
Yeah.
if you are saying the one which Mrs. Cronje had, it was signed.
It was not signed.
It was signed at the dump there, was it not?
My lord,
No, let's recapitulate the evidence.
yes.
So you are saying Mrs. Cronje never signed as a justice of the peace.
No. Let me just remind the court about
Okay.
the evidence of and what was put to Mrs. Cronje.
Okay, fine.
What accused number 2 signed is the pro forma of that document, but not the statement. And when it was put to her that that document you are in possession of must have been seen by stains, because accused number 2 bled when he signed that
Yeah,
document.
I
There are 2
understand.
documents.
I understand you well.
Yes.
The imputation is that that document was signed outside of the
The
personal
office.
presence of Ms.
Mrs.
Cronje.
Cronje,
Is that not so? Yes.
that's correct.
I understand English very well.
Thank you very
And
much.
that follows then that when it was signed, wherever you say it was signed, it must have blood stains.
That's correct.
That's it. So you can pursue that, because unless you say to me there are 2 sets of pro forma forms or 2 sets of
No.
of
that's not what- no, my lord.
if there's one document, it's entitled to revisit that, Mr. Baloyi.
As a court, please, Brigadier, if you can just show the document page by page to the court and court personnel as to whether there's any evidence of blood stains on it.
My lord, so this is page 1 of the form, so original form. There's no blood stain. It's the second page. There's also no blood stain or any stain whatsoever, my lord. Third page, same situation, no blood stain. Fourth page, my lord, no blood stain or any marks whatsoever. Next page, my lord, there's also no blood stain. The next page as well, my lord, it's the same situation, no blood stains. Page after that, my lord, with the same situation, there's no blood stain. The next page after that, my lord, same situation, there are no blood stains. Page that follows that, and that's a certificate by the interpreter, there's no blood stain, my lord. Copies of the IDs of the officials who were there, no blood stain, my lord. The next one as well, there are no blood stains. The third one is well of the officials with the day stamp of the court, there are no blood stains. The actual document, the statement, my lord, here is it, there are no blood stains on it. The next page of the statement, there are no blood stains. Third page of the document, my lord, it doesn't contain any blood stains as well. Fourth page of the statement does not contain any blood stain. Fifth page of the statement, my lord, by accused 2 does not contain any blood stain. And the 7th page document, which is the last one, also does not contain any blood stains, my lord, or any stains, my lord, that cannot be explained.
Uthi umshushisi uyakhumbula ukuthi ummeli kammangalelo wesibini uye wakubuza ngalesi statement lesi ummangalelo wesibini eyewathi uye washawa la ukuthi ithema kasayina kuye kwachaphazeleka igazi kulesi statement lesiyana lesi ebesikade sikumantshi uthi ake ubonise inkantolo uphinde ubonise na wonke umuntu ola enkantolo ukuthi ngempela leyo ncwadi leyo ikhona ena lokho kuchaphazeleka kwegazi uyaphehla ubrigadier uyabonisa uthi kuwo wonke amaphepha la awaphethe akukho la kubonakanisa ukuchaphazeleka kwegazi.
God, please, will this be an appropriate time to take the long adjournment?
Oh, okay.
11 past 1.
What's the time now?
11 minutes past 1.
Oh, okay. Come back at 2.
As a God, please.
So we are going
2 o'clock.
All right.
I actually laid eyes on him other than talking to him on the phone. So I never met him with this form or came with any form anywhere, whether be it the police station itself or the ATM area they're referring to.
Manje ke kuthiwa wena uzenywe incwadi eyukuthi ibikade ibhalwe izinto ekungasizona uthi cha ubrigadier yena uye wathola le ncwadi le ku Lieutenant Colonel Raphadu ehlangana naye esiphoyiseni ubekade eqala ke ukuhlangana naye esiphoyiseni ngaleso sikhathi ngaphandle kokuthi wayekade ekhulume naye ocingweni.
Now, Mr. Mgumezulu further put it to that accused number 2 was forced to put a thumbprint on each of those pages that you mentioned, those 8 pages or so. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so my lord, I was not there, like I said. What I received from Lieutenant Colonel Raphadu was a statement, the performer together with this attachment, complete, not in pieces. A day or 2 days later, when I met him for the first time, there was no indication that 2 sets of documents were given. I got 1 set from him, but prior to that, I have not come across him at any time of my life, my lord.
Njengoba kuthiwa nginikwe amaphepha ahlukile cha akulona iqiniso Nkosi yenkantolo ngoba mina ngithole amaphepha ebekade ehlangene kusuka kuye uLieutenant Colonel Raphadu bengade ngiqala nokuhlangana naye futhi nalamaphepha unginike wona ahlangene.
Except for the version about the thumbprints, nothing was put to you regarding the signature. Is the document signed?
Yes, it is signed, my lord, by the Colonel itself, Colonel Raphadu, and the deponent, which is supposed to be accused too, because it's a signature next to his thumbprint, my lord.
Manje ke ngaphandle kwa lesithupha ummangalelo wesibini athi yena uphoqiwe ukuthi asibeke kulesa statement. Kusayiniwe na uthi yebo kusayine uColonel Raphadu nalo muntu bekade ekhuluma lesi statement ekuwummangalelo wesibili.
On which pages?
So on all pages, my lord. Signed the same page. In other words, from page 1 to page 8, it's a thumbprint. Next to it, there's a signature. Colonel Raphadu also signed. So you see that from page 1 right up to the last page. There's no break of sequence, my lord. It's a flow of events.
Wonke amapage asayiniwe futhi kunesithupha esibekiwe khona lapho.
Now, it was put to you regarding the events of the 21st of June 2020, it was put to you that you met accused number 2 at Primrose Police Station, that you apologized to him.
Sorry, point of correction. My lord, I've made a correction when the witness was still testifying. After I took proper instruction, I corrected myself to mean Pretoria North.
So you're trying to apologize at Pretoria North Police Station?
That's correct.
Yes,
Not
Mr.
Well, I don't remember that correction, but
I remember it.
Be that as it may, it was put to you that you approach the accused now, according to what Mr. Mgumezulu says, at Pretoria North Police Station on the 21st of June 2020, that you apologized to him for having been assaulted. That is now for accused number 2 having been assaulted, and that you offered him 3 million rand.
So, my lord, my response is that that is not correct, because the first part, the confession was already made on the 19th. That is the first part of this. There was a confession. My first engagement with the accused, my lord, accused 2, was on the 18th, where there was clear indication of his confession. Subsequent to that, on the 19th, a formal confession was made by him. So that's the flow of events, my lord. Thirdly, my apologies, my lord. on the 19th in the evening, subsequent to the docket of possession of ammunition being opened, he was charged in Bukeng, transferred to Primrose, not Pretoria North. The OBs, we've read those OB, my lord, they're available, we've shown them to the defense. From Bukeng, my lord, he was never taken to Pretoria North. There are entries that shows that he was detained in Primrose police station on the 20th in the morning hours by Sergeant Mukhani. The following day, which is now the 21st, he was still in Primrose, and Sergeant Mukhani formally charged him on the OB. There's also an entry that has been disclosed to the defense. I was not there. There's an entry that shows that Sergeant Mukhani at Primrose, not Pretoria Road, not charged him for the Bukeng case, and subsequently on the 22nd, he appeared for the first time in Bukeng Magistrate Court. So I was not there, my lord, and there was no such offer made by me. Like I said, my lord, it's unethical, it is unlawful. I don't even know, I can't even comprehend the reason why would you offer a suspect that money. He confessed, my lord. Even if he did not confess, that would have been his right to remain silent. There is no way that I even had access to that money in terms of the police budget in any event. But even if it was there, my lord, it's something that is unethical, unlawful, and something that I will never do. I've heard stories, my lord, of officials and government officials being accused of corruption. In other words, the corruptor being perhaps the member of the public. This is the first in my whole career where I've had a police officer like us offering money to an accused of that magnitude. I'm shocked, my lord, but it is not true. That is the essence of it.
Sorry. You're saying the traffic is the other way.
It is the other way, my lord. And the statistics of corruption, even if you look at the Zondo Commission, if you look at the crime stats that we have as the police, it's the other way. It's the service providers, it's the members of the public who are bribing government officials, SAPS officials. That's why I'm sitting with matters with such cases. I have never, I'm talking about me, my lord, seen, especially this amount of money where police officers, investigators are offering money to an accused who has already confessed. I don't know what is the purpose. He has already confessed, he implicated his co-accused and his willingness to cooperate. Subsequent to that, my lord, he does indeed cooperate with us. And then he goes and make the confession to the magistrate. So
uphendula ke ubrigadier kulo mbuzo wokuthi uye wafika yena kumsolo wesibini ezoxolisa njengoba ubekade untanzi ese-Pretoria North, njengoba umnumzana uMngomezulu asho uthi cha, into yokuqala akazange abe e-Pretoria North, uma kusuka eBukeng uye wayisiwa ePrimrose, la ukuthi langa elilandelayo uSergeant Mukhani uye wamthosa amaqala wayovela eBukeng, futhi uthi akazange yena ayoxolisa ngendaba yokushawa kukaMangalelwa, yena akazange ayazi indaba yokushawa kaMangalelwa, futhi nalolu daba lemali le-3 million uthi cha, yena uyaqala ukuyizwa kahle wazi ukuthi kunokuthi abantu kube yibona abafisa ukunika amaphoyisa imali, hayi ukuthi amaphoyisa anike abantu imali. Futhi bekuzoba yini isizathu sokuthi afune ukunika uNtanzi imali ngemva kokuthi uNtanzi bese seyena ngokwakhe esekegunyulukile, sekachaze nokuthi yena uzimisele nokuthi angasebenzisana nabo amaphoyisa, sekatshele nokuthi abobani abantu ayikuthi badlale indima kuleli cala. Futhi yena ke uyachaza uthi ayikaze yayenzeka, ngeke yenzeke, ayikho emthethweni, futhi naye ngeke ayivumele.
When did you hear about this allegation for the first time?
For the first time, it was when Counsel for Accused 2 put it to me. It was the first time. It was never ever said to me, my lord. And that was, I think, on the last day of his cross-examination, my lord. Last week, I think, his last day. That was the first time I heard about it, my lord.
Uqaleni nokuzwa lolu daba uthi ngiqale ukuluzwa okokuqala ngalesikhathi ummeli kaMangalelwa wesibini engibuza imibuzo. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi iviki elidlulile ngalesikhathi umnumzana uMngomezulu aqedelela ngemibuzo yakhe.
Well, still on this subject, that the offer was, according to the question that was put by Mr. Mngomezulu, made on the 21st of June 2020. I just want to show you Exhibit QQ. It's already in record, but where was the accused detained? Firstly, on Saturday, the 20th.
He was detained at Primrose SAPS, my lord. By
Mangalelwa-
Sergeant Mohani, sorry.
umangalelwa yena wayekade egcinwe phi ngeyi-20 uthi bekagcinwe ePrimrose uSergeant Mohani.
And what is the relevant entry?
So it's the relevant entry, my lord, it's 713, and the time of detention is 0040. In other words, my lord, 20 to 1 in the morning.
La ke kuye kwabhalwa khona mizuzu emashumi amabini ngaphambi kwehora lokuqala ntathabusa kula kwabhalwa ke ukuthi umsolwa yena uyafakwa ke esiphoyiseni sasePrimrose.
Then, my lord, on the 21st, it's 21 June 2020, the entry there is 2029. It says suspect charged by Sergeant Mohani. That is now in relation to this the Pukeng case 118 of 6/2020. That's Sergeant Mohani who charged him at Primrose Police Station. And subsequent to that, my lord, in the morning of the 22nd, he was then booked out from Primrose Police Station to Pukeng. Nowhere was he ever at Pretoria North on those days, from the 19th to the 22nd, my lord.
Bese ke futhi ngesonto i-21 zika June 2020 kulayi ukuthi umsolwa yena wayekade ekhona lapha ePrimrose wayisiwa ke ngomsombuluko enkantolo yasePhukeng.
And the relevant entry, my lord, insofar as the booking out, when Sergeant Mohani was taking him to court, it was 2065, and the time was 07:15. That's when Sergeant Mohani booked out accused 2 to Pukeng Magistrate Court.
Futhi ke kulayi ukuthi uye wabhala ke uSergeant Mohani isikhathi bekuyimizuzu eyi-15 ngemva kwehora lesikhombisa ekuseni ngalesikhathi ekhipha umsolwa amisa esiphoyiseni enkantolo yasePhukeng.
And the date, my lord, is the 22nd of June 2020. That's when he was taken to Pukeng Magistrate Court.
Ilanga ke bekuyi-22 zika June ngomsombuluko ngalesikhathi emisa kwamantshi wasePhukeng.
Thank you, Brick. Then on Friday, when we were listening to the audio, towards the end, on the 5th of March 2021, Mr. Nkwana, who had just taken over the defense of accused number 2, and he was also appearing for accused number 3, and it was also put in record yesterday when the transcripts were made available. There was an allegation that accused number 2 and 3 are complaining of assaults.
Yes.
Was there any action taken regarding that complaint?
Yes, indeed, my lord. So I will start back in 2021. Subsequent to that, my lord, I requested the facts, rather the explanation or the, should I say, maybe the statement, my lord, or the information regarding the alleged offense of torture in relation to accused number 2 and number 3, because my recollection, those were the people, according to Mr. Nkwane, who claimed, and accused number 2 said it himself. Now, that report never came, my lord. So, but what I then did, I coordinated with the Department of Correctional Services to check in their registers and obviously provide such information in writing if there are any assault reported, because at that time, my lord, accused 2 was detained at the Department of Correctional Services, not at the police station in Pukeng. That's where he came from, and then he came to court. When he was received in the court books on that day, the 5th of March 2021, there was no reporting of assault in the court cells itself, which is the same situation which accused number 3. Now, I made those inquiries, my lord, they were negative. In other words, there was no such reporting both from the police and the DCS. Then, my lord, subsequent fast tracking to where we are, after we listened to the recordings of those days, my lord, I embarked on the same exercise again. I spoke to the head of the center, the current head of the center in CIMEX where accused 3 is detained, and also the head of the center where accused 2 was detained at that time. both disposed affidavits, signed affidavit and commission that there was no such reports of assault in their books, and that was brought to their attention. Actually, the head of the Center for CMX prison, he even says he went, and that is now the previous Saturday, to even interview accused number 3 and said, there's this allegation in court, were you ever assaulted? And that was denied. That is contained.
Yes.
That is going to be hearsay. Even accused number 3 does not feature in this trial. It's totally irrelevant in respect of accused number 3. And in any event, testimony can be amounts to hearsay.
If you can just confine yourself about what you have just yourself established. You mentioned that you obtained the affidavits,
Yes.
and we can put on record that these affidavits have been made available to the defense.
Yes, they are made available, my lord. That clearly states that there was no assault reported then on the 5th of March 2020. And and the OB for the cells, my lord, is also available, which we've made available to the defense. That shows that even in the court registers itself, on that specific day, there was no entry of assault.
Thank you.
Umeli unkwane uye wakhuluma enkantolo ukuthi abamangalelwa umangalelwa wesibini nowesithathu bona bathi bashayiwe. Uthi ubrigadiri njengoba bekade kulalelwe la ngolwesihlanu uye wathatha inyathelo yena ukuthi ayohlola noma ayokhuluma nalaba abaphethe amajele la abamangalelwa bahleli khona. Ukhulumile nalowa seSimex wakhuluma nala uNtanzi ehleli khona uthi baye babhala istatement futhi lezo istatement uzinikile abameli kulezo istatement bayaphika ukuthi ba uNtanzi no mangalela wesithathu bashayiwe uthi nalezo istatement lezo zikhona azinike abameli la bakhulume khona babhale ukuthi abazanye bashawe lamadoda.
And just lastly, Brigadier, during cross-examination by Mr. Mgumezolo, he asked you as to whether you had prior knowledge or your team had prior knowledge of the case docket, First Lores 534-6/2020, and your answer was yes. There were previous, there were persons of interest. We did cold case analysis around them. We approached them. We were aware that they are suspect in the Senzo Meyiwa case. Now the question is, can you clarify if, and you've put on record the sentence that Piniselani Buthelezi received. You mentioned that he was convicted on several counts and the sentences imposed on those counts. Can you clarify whether this is a separate docket, that is not the docket on which Piniselani Buthelezi was sentenced, whether it's a separate docket from Nongoma 1634 of 2018?
No, it is the same, my lord. So the one that he was sentenced on, it's Nongoma 163, that one of 2018 in March, my lord. That's the matter he was sentenced on, my lord.
Ukhulumile ngokugcwala ngalolu daba lika Qiniselani Buthelezi ake uqhazisele ukuthi yena ugwetshwe kuleli cala elihlukile naleli la kwaNongoma uthi cha lona icala la kwaNongoma la agwetshwe khona.
But one should also add, my lord, that docket was going with various dockets, so it was not just one docket. It's that case number, the number of dockets. Sergeant Mohane will know, but in essence, my lord, that Nongoma case is got a conviction in that matter.
Futhi ke timgcwalisele nokuthi akusukuthi idokodo elilodwa elizimele elakwaNongoma, kunamanye amadokodo abekade hambisana nalo lelo dokodo. Usergeant Mohane uyena ongakwazi ukuchaza kangcono.
Thank you, my lord. Those are the only aspects we wanted to take up with the witness.
Okay. Have you ever been to Orlando, sir? Orlando East?
Yes, my lord. I've been Orlando East and West, my lord.
And Orlando West.
Both sides, my lord, yes.
I'm asking this because you say you don't know of any place where there are disused or where there were disused ATM machines.
That is correct, my lord. There's none that I know. I mean, the open field that I can think of in Orlando between East and West, you will think of one next to the Orlando Stadium, because there's a river there, there's
Squatter camp there.
Squatter camp, my lord. But even there, in that vast open space, I have never. I grew up there, like I said, my lord, but did my first year all the way up to matric in Soweto. I've never come across that. Even when I was working, there's no such that I've seen, my lord.
Just a dumping place in Orlando. Have you ever seen one?
I know the one above Mufulo South. You know, they used to call it Koliat or something like that. I can't recall, my lord.
You're talking Mfulo South.
Yeah, so if you pass Mufulo South, when you used to
Is that
go-
the vocational?
Yes. There was one that side.
The court was born in Sophia Town. It grew up in Alexander Township. And in 1960, family was transmitted to Deep Kloof. And this judge got married and stayed in Orlando West. So this court has got intimate knowledge about Orlando East, Orlando West, Mufolo South, etc., etc. So that's why I want to see, maybe the gentleman is wrong. There is a dumping place in Orlando.
Not that I'm aware of, my lord. That's why I said if you go to vocational rate, my lord, leaving from Mufulo South, coming from White Seat, Mufulo South, going up, basically going to Nansfield, there was a dumping area on the right-hand side before you turn to vocational. In Orlando, my lord, I really have no recollection of that, my lord.
Iyabuza inkantolo ukuthi ubrigadier uyayazi na i-Orlando. Brigadier uthi uyayazi i-Orlando North, i-Orlando West ne-Orlando East. Uthi ukhulele eSoweto njengoba senachazile uqala isikolo khona waqeda khona. Yena akaze wabona indawo la kulahlwa khona ama-ATM noma ama-ATM angasebenzi. Iyabuza inkantolo ukuthi uyazi na mhlawumbe indawo la kulahlwa khona na. Uthi mhlawumbe ngasesigangeni lesi siseduze kwe-Orlando Stadium kodwa akulahlwa ama-ATM. Enye futhi uchaza ngale ngasemfulo la ukuthi ikhona enye indawo la kulahlwa khona izibi kodwa uthi akulahlwa ama-ATM kuyo leyo ndawo leyo. Chaza futhi nokuthi uma sisoyehla uza ngase-Nansfield e-Hostel nalapho mhlawumbe kungaba nesiganga kodwa akusukuthi kulahlwa ama-ATM. Inkantolo iyachaza nayo ukuthi izalelwe khona ngale ngaseSoweto yakhula yaya ngase-Alexandra yabuya yashada futhi ngaseSoweto. Inkantolo iyayazi leya ndawo akusukuthi mhlawumbe inkantolo ayiyazi beyifuna nje ukubona ukuthi ubrigadier uyayazi le ndawo.
Well, in addition, I attended school at Orlando High.
Jike
I know
inkantolo
Orlando High, my lord.
And I played for Orlando Pirates at Orlando. So I'm familiar with it. And we used to train in Orlando towards where it meets Deep Kloof,
Yes.
sporting grounds, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And I was an athlete representing Southern Transvaal in hurdles. 880 in a mile. Okay. No, fine. It's just for my curiosity because I don't think it's consequential, that thing, concerning me.
Yes, my lord.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thanks. Are you finished?
I'm done, my lord. Yes,
Okay.
I'm done. Yes,
All right.
That's a good place. Thank you, Brigadier.
usekaqedile ubrigadier Gininda.
Sorry, there's one aspect. I said all the councils address me as to whether a recording, staggered recording of a television clip can form part of the record of this court. Are you saying you are abandoning it?
That was my understanding that
After-
the audio and the transcripts have
Being
resolved.
supplied, so there's no necessity for that.
But they can, I think, speak for themselves.
Is that so?
That is the position, my lord.
Everybody says that is the position. Okay, fine. Yeah.
May I be excused, my lord? Thank you.
The what?
Brigadier uyacelela ukuthi ucela ukuthi inkantolo imkhulule, inkantolo
Before the
iyamkhulula.
witness is excused, was it a question that was posed to the witness arising from the court's question?
About me playing for Orlando Pirates.
No, no. The first question that the
This question was it, sir?
about the ATMs in Orlando.
Well, that's why I say he's given his evidence about that. I just wanted to understand whether there was a dumping place or not. He says there isn't. We can proper argument about that, no problem. I'm not making a definitive finding to say there are no ATMs. I'm just asking this witness because I'm familiar. I can take judicial notice of that place to say where there could be a dumping place for ATMs.
Thank you.
Okay.
There are no further questions.
Okay, yes, Mr. Maloney.
As a court, please, my lord, the state calls the next witness is Colonel Swanepoel. The witness is not on the witness list, my lord.
Colonel Swanepoel.
Yes.
Okay.
The witness is going to testify in respect of a new exhibit that we've marked exhibit NN1. These are the extracts of the occurrence book at Silverton Police Station for the period 3 July 2020 and 10 July 2020. He's also going to testify in respect of a cell register. We've marked this exhibit NN in brackets 2. And the witness is also going to refer to national instructions. We've just, for the sake of convenience, we not included them in the bundle, but we haven't marked those national instructions. We don't think it's necessary to hand them as an exhibit.
The councillors have they been given these documents
Yes,
timeously?
Yes, they were given those documents yesterday, my lord.
You're aware of these documents, councils? Mr. Minister doesn't know anything about this document.
No, they were all given the bundle yesterday.
Mr. Ngumalo, do you know anything about this document?
I've received them yesterday. Thank you.
Ms. Mchololo?
Yes, my lord, I did.
Ms. Nisi?
We received them.
You what?
I received them.
Okay, and Mr. Mgomezolo, did you receive?
It's received.
Okay, thank you. All right. Will you swear the witness in then? What the tal gaan jy?
English.
English. Okay.
Do you have any objection in taking that oath?
No.
And if you so swear, do you swear that the evidence you are going to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing else but the truth? If you do, please raise your right hand and say, so help you God.
So help me God.
Witness is sworn in, my lord. Manje umshushisho ubiza omunye ufakazi uColonel Swanepoel.
You are a colonel in the South African Police, is that correct?
That's correct.
Uthi yebo uColonel esiphoyiseni sala eMzantsi Afrika.
Where are you attached currently?
I'm currently the station commander at Pretoria Moed Police Station.
Uyi station commander Pretoria Moed Police Station.
How many years service do you have in the South African Police?
41 years service.
Sekaneminyaka amashumi amane nanye ulibele kuyiphoyisa.
Can you put your career history on record?
Thank you. I joined the South African Police Service in 1983 when I went to college. After that, I was placed at Johannesburg Central. At the time it was called John Foster Square.
Just a minute to give the interpreter
Uthi
change.
ke yena uqale esiphoyiseni ngo-1983 yena wabekwa esiphoyiseni sase-Johannesburg Central ngalesa sikhathi yayikaze ibizwa i-John Foster Square.
And after that, in 1986, I was placed at the Regional Commissioner's Office of Johannesburg.
Ngemva ngemva kwalapho kulaye ukuthi yena uye wabekwa ehhovisi lesiphoyisa la lesivinini i-regional office.
And then in 1988, I was transferred to the regional office in Pretoria.
Ngo-1988 yena watransferelwa ke khona e-regional office yase-Pretoria.
And then in 1992, I became a lieutenant in the South African Police Service and was placed at Wonderboompoort Police Station as station commander.
Ngo-1992 yena waba lieutenant kulaye ukuthi wabekwa khona esiphoyiseni sase-Wonderboom.
And then in 2003, I was transferred as the station commander at Eersterus Police Station.
Ngo-2003 waba i-station commander sase-Eersterus Police Station.
And then in 2010, I was placed at Kameeldrift Police Station as the station commander.
Ngo-2010 wabekwa ke esiphoyiseni sase-Kameeldrift njenge-station commander.
So, Colonel, between 2003 and 2010, you were the station commander of Eersterus Police
That's
Station.
correct.
Yebo ngo-2003 fikela ku-2010 ngangikade ngise-Eersterus.
Yes.
And then in 2016, I was promoted to the rank of colonel, and I was placed at Silverton Police Station as the station commander.
Ngo-2016 yena wathola ke i-promotion waba u-colonel, waba u-station commander. In which police station is it?
Silverton.
Silverton.
And then in 23, I was placed as the station commander of Pretoria Moord Police Station.
Ngo-2023 kulaye ukuthi uye wabekwa khona e-Pretoria North Moord Police Station.
So, just how many years were you the station commander of Silverton Police Station?
It was it was 7 years.
Uhleli laphaya esiphoyiseni sase-Silverton njenge-station commander iminyaka eyisikhombisa.
So, all in all, Colonel Swanepoel, from 1992 until currently, you have been station commander of various police stations.
That's correct.
Kusukela ngo-1992 kufikela manje ulibele kuyi-station commander sama-police station ahlukile.
Now, can you explain to the court, are the official documents that are kept at the police station?
Yes, they are official documents kept at the police station.
Akhona amaphepha asemthethweni ayikuthi aye abekwe ema-police station uthi yebo.
Yes, what are those documents?
It is all documents pertaining to the police station itself. It's including the SAPS 10, the occurrence book, where all incidents are reported in.
Just a minute.
Uthi-ke amaphepha abekwa laphayana amaphepha wonke wesiphoyisa ahlanganisa futhi ne-occurrence book, i-OB.
Then also the SAPS 13, where all exhibits is handed in.
Futhi na le ncwadi ekuthi wonke ubufakazi uma bifika buyaye bubekwe kuwo.
And then the SAP 14, that is a cell register, where all the detention people that's detained at the police station is captured.
Futhi nencwadi ekuthi uma abantu beze banama cellphone bafike kubhaliswe kuyo.
Then there's different other registers that is kept, for example, the accident report registers and all the other registers pertaining to policing at the police station.
Bese ke kuba nencwadi uma mhlawumbe kunengozi eyenzakele bese bona bayaya njengesiphoyisa futhi nalezo incwadi zikhona esiphoyiseni.
But for our purposes, we can just confine ourselves to the SAP 10, the occurrence book, and SAP 14, the cell register. You've already mentioned that the purpose of the occurrence book is to record the incident. So what is the procedure when recording such incidents?
My Lord, every time a person reports on duty, it is captured in the occurrence book, as well as the handing over of the CSC, Community Service Center programs that handed over in the occurrence book.
Manje umsebenzi wale ncwadi ebizwa i-OB ukuthi umuntu uma engena emsebenzini uyaye agcwalise kuyo ukuthi sekafikile futhi nezehlakalo noma igameko ezenzakala uma kulibele kusetshenzwa laphayana la kuvulwa khona amacala e-CSC nakho kuyaye kubhalwe khona la.
If a person is arrested or detained at the police station, it's also captured in the SAPS 10, the occurrence book.
Umuntu uma eboshiwe noma egcinwe ku-esiphoyiseni khona lapho kuyaye kubhalwe futhi nakuyo i-OB.
Then if the person is visited in the cells, if the cell visit is conducted, it's also mentioned in the SAP and captured in the SAP 10, the occurrence book.
Nomuntu uma evakashelwe esemaseleni yena kuyabhalwa futhi na kwi-OB ukuthi uvakashelwe lo muntu.
No, these cell visits, what do they consist of?
Cell visit is usually done by one or two members. The members that go and visit the cells make sure that the detainees that's currently in the cell and is written in the SAP 14 are still in the cells, and that the cells is in a good condition.
Just a minute, just talk a little bit and give the interpreter a chance.
Kuyaye ukuthi umuntu uma esemaseleni bese kuza iphoyisa lize lizohlola ukuthi lo muntu lo sasekhona na emaseleni, iseli lelo lisase ngendlela elungile, iseli lelo lisalungele ukuthi umuntu angahlala kulo.
And then also, if everything is still in order with the pertaining to the detainees in the cells, if there is any injuries or any sicknesses in the cells.
Bese uyabhala nokuthi laphayana emaselini yonke into isalungile, mhlawumbe kunokuthi umuntu uyagula elaphaya emaselini.
Yes. And the cell register?
The cell register,
SAP 14?
SAPS 14, it's dealing with the people that's detained at the police station.
Manje le cell register ikhuluma ngabantu abavalelwe laphaya e-police station.
And it's divided into certain columns, starting with the serial number and then the name and surname of the detainee.
Yona inemiqa ehlukile iqala nge-serial number bese kubhalwa amagama nezibongo zakhe umuntu lo oboshiwe,
as well as the date of arrest, date and time of arrest.
ubhalwe nesikhathi nelanga leli aboshwe ngalo,
and also the reason for detention.
bokubhalwe nesizathu ukuthi uvalelwe ngani, ngasiphi isizathu,
as well as the case number pertaining to that specific detainee.
kubhalwe ke ne-case number eyakhe lo muntu lo oboshiwe.
And then also the date and time the person was admitted to the cells.
Bese kuyabhalwa nelanga nesikhathi la umuntu afakwe khona emaseleni.
There's also space for the notice, in terms of the Constitution, the notice of rights that's issued to the detainee.
Kunendawo futhi la kubhalwa khona ngamalungelo wakhe lo muntu lo ovalelwe.
Also a space for OB number for that his next of kin was informed and he had the opportunity to find his next of kin and his legal representative.
Kunesigaba futhi la ukuthi kuyabhalwa ukuthi lo muntu lo uye wathola ithuba nalo ukuthi angashayela ucingo kumuntu wakubo noma ummeli wakhe.
Now you mentioned that there's a space for the notice of rights. What information is entered regarding the notice of rights in the cell register?
The notice of rights is a serial controlled register that's issued to each police station. That serial control notice is then issued to each detainee that's detained at the police station.
Manje ke kunenombolo yokuthi amaphoyisa anikwe wona uma beletha umuntu lapha estokisini bese kwamele babhale leyo nombolo enikewa wonke umuntu ofakwa lapha emaseleni.
And the serial number thereof, is it documented anyway?
It's documented in the SAPS 14 in the relevant column.
I-serial number nayo iyabhalwa kuyo leyo ncwadi leyo.
Yes, and who may make entries in the occurrence book, the SAP 10?
It's only the person posted in this CSC, the Community Service Center, or if the cells is separate from the Community Service Center, the person that is posted in the cell complex.
Ubani umuntu onegunya lokubhala kule OB kuthiwa yilo muntu osebenza lapha CSC la kuvulwa khona amacala umphakathi wonke ovula khona amacala umuntu obekwe lapho noma umuntu ozayo ezoletha umuntu othize.
Now, are the procedures in place when a person is detained at the cells who is injured?
If there is injuries on a person that's detained, the arresting officer must immediately, before he detain that person, establish if that person needs urgent medical attention, and that person will then be taken for medical treatment.
Uma ingabe umuntu elethwa ekuthi udinga ukunyangwa noma edinga ukubona udokotela kwamele lo muntu omlethayo abhale ukuthi lo muntu loyo udinga ukubona udokotela.
And if the person is brought to the police station and the relief commander or the cell commander finds that the person is injured, he must immediately also arrange for medical treatment.
Nomuntu mhlawumbe uma elethwe estokisini laphayana bese iphoyisa eliphumayo lingamcebisanga lo ongenayo kwamele naye uma ingena abheke ukuthi lo muntu lo mhlawumbe udinga ukuthi ayobona udokotela bese amenzela ukuthi lo muntu loyo ayohlola udokotela.
If a person is injured or he's got an illness and he must be treated by a medical practitioner, SAPS 70 is issued for that specific detainee, and that goes with the detainee to the relevant doctor or the medical facility.
Uma ingabe ke lo muntu loyo ulimele lo olethwa emaselini uma ingabe ulimele kunencwadi ekuthi nakhona iyagcwaliswa lo muntu loyo bese uyaya ayobona udokotela noma ayisiwe esibhedlela.
The SAPS 70 is also a serial controlled register, and that serial number is also written in the SAPS 14 in the relevant column.
Futhi kuyo leyo ncwadi leyo akhona ama serial number ekuthi ayabhalwa nawo afakwa khona lapho la kunesigaba sokubhala ama serial number.
Now, if a person comes to the police station with injuries, will that person be allowed under any conditions to be detained at the police station?
If a person comes with injuries, he must be either taken by the person arresting him or the relief commander to the nearest facility for treatment. He won't be allowed to be in the cells without treatment.
Uma umuntu eza esiphoyiseni alimele uyavunyelwa na ukuthi angahle afakwe esiphoyiseni noma emaseleni uthi lo muntu loyo kwamele athathwe ayisiwe endaweni eseduze la ezonyangwa khona.
And then also in Pretoria Court, I can only speak about Pretoria Court, my lord, is that they don't accept any detainees with injuries at the court as well.
Futhi enkantolo yase Pretoria abavumeli abantu abasolwa ukuthi beze balimele.
Except if that person was treated by a medical practitioner.
Ngaphandle kokuthi lo muntu wayekade ehlangene nodokotela.
Is this practice only confined to the Pretoria court?
I don't think so, my lord. I think it's pertaining to every magistrate court.
Manje le ndaba le ihlangana kuphela nani inkantolo zase Pretoria ukuthi cha angikholwa lokho ngoba senkantolo ngicabanga ukuthi zonke inkantolo.
And are there any guidelines, any circulars, any instructions that are in place regarding how injured detainees are dealt with?
Everything in the South African Police Service got either a national instruction or a standing order. So the rules and regulations pertaining to detainees and every other aspect of the South African Police Service is clearly defined in the national instructions as well as the standing orders.
Ikhona mhlawumbe imithetho ethize ukuthi ibhaliwe uthi yonke into esiphoyiseni nemithetho yakhona noma mhlawumbe eminye imithetho ukuthi silibele sinikwa yona uma silibele sisebenza kodwa imithetho ikhona nemigomo yakhona.
Pertaining to medical treatment, there's a national instruction 8 of 2016 that was issued, and that's relevant to all the police stations in the whole of South Africa.
Kukhulunywa ngokuyohlolwa noma ngokuthi umuntu ayisiwe udokotela ukhona umthetho owakhishwa ngo-2016 oyikuthi owama police station wonke ala eMzansi Afrika.
Yes. Any other national instruction?
There's also pertaining to people detained at the police station, there's also a national instruction 11 of 2019.
Khona omunye umthetho nawo oyikuthi uye wakhishwa ngo-2019 ukhishelwa ama-police station wonke.
That's talking about treatment of people in custody.
Okhulunywa ngokuphathwa kwabantu abaphakathi esitokisini noma emaselini.
As well as the transportation of detainees.
Nokuhanjiswa kwabo nabo bantu.
I just want to show you a document. Can you just identify that document?
This is the National Instruction 8 of 2016 pertaining to medical treatment and hospitalization of person in police custody.
Incwadi onginika yona incwadi ekhuluma ngokuphathwa kwabantu abalimele noma abantu abadinga unyango abaphakathi esiphoyiseni.
If you can turn to page 2 there. Can you just put the relevant portions on record? What is the procedure in dealing with such detainees?
Thank you, my lord. The paragraph 3 of the National Instruction 8 of 2016, medical treatment of a person in police custody upon arrest. Once a person, adult or child, has been arrested, the arresting member has a legal duty to take care of the arrested person and to ensure that medical treatment is provided.
Uyafunda ke ukuthi nango umuntu ma elethwe esiphoyiseni kuumuntu omdala noma kuumntwana nomuntu lo omlethayo osebenza esiphoyiseni unolungelo lokuthi yena amyise lo muntu ukuthi ayobonana nodokotela uma ingabe edinga ukunyanga.
Medical treatment is provided to the arrested person whenever necessary.
ukuthi lo muntu uma edinga ukuthi ayobonana nodokotela noma aye esibhedlela kwamele ayiswe.
Paragraph 2 is if the arrested person show any signs that he or she is seriously ill or seriously injured,
futhi uma lo muntu oboshiwe ebonisa ukuthi yena uyagula noma ulimele,
irrespective of whether the injury was sustained during the arrest or not, the member concerned must
kungakhathalizeki ukuthi lo muntu lo ulimele ngalesikhathi eboshwa noma cha,
exercise his or her discretion and decide whether the person should be taken for medical treatment even before he is taken to the police station.
kwamele iphoyisa lona lisebenzise ingqondo yalo noma ukubona kwakhe ukuthi lo muntu kwamele ayobonana nenyanga ngaphambi kokuthi ayisiwe esiphoyiseni na.
If the arrested person, in the opinion of the member concerned, need urgent medical treatment,
uma ingabe umuntu lo oboshiwe uma iphoyisa limbheka libona ukuthi udinga ukuthi ayolaphiwa,
decide whether the person is fit to be transported by police vehicle or should rather be transported by ambulance.
iphoyisa ke lithatha isinqumo sokuthi lo muntu lo kwamele ahanjiswe ngemoto yesiphoyisa noma kubizwe imoto ye-ambulance.
And he, she must then act accordingly.
Bese ke yena ke lelo phoyisa bese lithatha lezo inyathelo.
Paragraph 3 say if a member is in doubt to whether urgent medical treatment attention is needed, he or she should rather take the necessary step to arrange for such treatment.
Uma ingabe ke lelo phoyisa linokungabaza okuthize, yena ke kwamele athathe inyathelo ezifanele.
Yes. Is it all that?
I can also, members must ensure that every arrested person before his or her detention, whether he or she is currently being treated for a medical condition,
Maphoyisa futhi kwamele ayenze isiqiniseko sokuthi bayabuza noma bahlole lo muntu oboshwayo ukuthi yena akhona mhlawumbe amakhambi ayikuthi uyawathatha noma kune treatment ayithathayo.
if the arrested person is treated with prescription medication or chronic medication, or indicates that he or she suffer from a chronic condition,
Uma ingabe lo muntu echaza ke ukuthi akhona amakhambi awathathayo noma uyagula ukugula okungalapheki,
arrangement must be made to collect for the collection of the medication.
amaphoyisa ke wona kwamele ayenze isiqiniseko sokuthi lo muntu loyo uyayenzelwa ukuthi athole lamakhambi wakhe.
Or the person must be taken to a medical service provider in order for the person to be examined and such medication to be obtained, if applicable.
Noma lo muntu kwamele kuhlelwe ukuthi ayisiwe kudokotela ukuze ayothola lawo makhambi lawo noma bamhlelele ukuthi awathole.
Yes, thank you. Any other relevant portions?
And then also paragraph 4, obtaining medical treatment for a person in custody during detention at the police station.
Futhi ke ubonisa la nala ukuthi umuntu uma kutholwa amakhambi wakhe,
If a person in custody on arrival at the police station shows any injury,
uma umuntu mayefika esiphoyiseni ebonisa impawu zokulimala,
appears to be suffering from physical or mental illness,
yena mhlawumbe ebonisa nokuthi kunala ukuthi emzimbeni akazilinganelanga,
fails to react to sensory stimulation or displays a lack of awareness,
yena futhi abonise nokuthi akaboni ukuthi kwenzakalani,
and such person, in the opinion of the Community Service Center Commander, needs medical attention,
bese kubonwa ukuthi lo muntu loyo uma iphoyisa libona ukuthi udinga ukuyobonana nodokotela,
for the injury or illness, the community service center must
bonakala ukuthi uyobona lelo phoyisa kwamele liyenze isiqiniseko sokuthi lo muntu ahambe ayo
act as set out in paragraphs 2 and 3 below.
ahambe ayenza lento ebekade ikhulunywe ku paragraph 2 no 3 lebe sifundile.
This also applies if the community service center is in doubt whether medical attention is needed.
Futhi ke nalokhu kuyaye kubandakanyiswe uma engabe lo muntu lo sebenza laphayana unokungabaza ukuthi lo muntu lo uyakudinga na ukuhlolwa noma akadingi.
Paragraph 2, subparagraph 2, if a person needs medical attention, the community service center commander must have the person transported.
Uma ingabe umuntu kubonwa ingathi udinga ukuyohlolwa noma ukuyiswa kudokotela kwamele yena ahanjiswe
either by police vehicle or an ambulance
hanjiswe ngemoto yamaphoyisa noma ngeambulance
to the nearest provincial hospital or call the district surgeon
ayisiwe esibhedlela eseduze noma kubizwe udokotela oseduze.
If no provincial hospital or district is available, call the nearest available appropriate medical service provider.
Uma ingabe singekho isibhedlela eduze lapho kuzawufanele ukuthi kubizwe udokotela oyikuthi uyasetshenziswa lapha.
The station commander must issue station orders informing the members under his or her command of which medical service providers to be utilized for such purposes.
The station commander yesona kwamele sichaze noma sitshele laba abasebenza ngaphansi kwakhe ukuthi bangasebenzisa yipi inyanga noma udokotela.
These orders must at all times be available in the community service center and must be reviewed on a regular basis to ensure effective administration.
Konke lokhu kwamele kuhlale kukhona laphayana la kuvulwa khona amacala futhi amaphoyisa bayenze nesiqiniseko sokuthi bayakulandelela.
If urgent medical attention is not required but the community service center commander has the opinion that medical attention is necessary,
uma ingabe kungadingeki ukuthi umuntu angayisiwa esibhedlela noma kudokotela kodwa iphoyisa libona ingathi kuyadingeka,
he or she must make the necessary arrangements to have the person examined at the nearest provincial hospital.
lelo phoyisa kwamele liyenze isiqiniseko sokuthi lo muntu uyathathwa ayohlolwa esibhedlela esiseduze.
Or if not available by another medical service provider.
Noma uma ingabe singekho isibhedlela lapho lo muntu kwamele ayisiwe kudokotela.
The station commander must ensure that particulars relating to the applicable provincial hospital or other medical service provider
Station commander kwamele yenze isiqiniseko sokuthi abodokotela noma isibhedlela
that may be utilized for this purpose are at all times available in the community service center.
ebanga esingasetshenziswa kwamele sihlale sikhona ulwazi lwakhona laphayana la kuvulwa amacala.
It also say paragraph 4, all medical consultations must be conducted in private, out of sight and hearing of a member unless the medical practitioner specifically requests otherwise.
Futhi kwamele lo muntu lo ahlolwe ngase ndaweni ekuthi akugcwalanga abantu ngaphandle kokuthi udokotela esho njalo.
Yes, thanks. Any other relevant?
Yes, just paragraph 5, my lord, is recording the steps taken. All steps that were taken in regard to medical treatment of a person or child in police custody.
Enye into futhi ukuthi yonke into ethathiwe noma zonke inyathelo ezithathiwe ngalo muntu olethwe esitokisini umuntu omdala noma umntwana
must be fully recorded in the occurrence book.
kwamele zibhalwe phansi kule ncwadi i-occurrence book noma i-OB.
The outcome of any medical examination must similarly be recorded together with the name of the medical service provider.
Nemiphumela yokuthi lo muntu udokotela uthe yini inkinga kwamele ibhalwe futhi naye udokotela noma isibhedlela sibhalwe ukuthi wayekade ehlolwe ngubani noma kwesiphi.
and where the examination had taken place.
Kubhalwe futhi nokuthi uhlolelwe kuphi.
If more than one entry is required, the different entries must be cross-linked in the occurrence book.
Uma ingabe kudingeka ukuthi kugcwaliswe emakhasini adlula elinye kwamele ke kuqhubekelwe ngakwelinye ikhasi.
The number of the first entry must be recorded in the custody register.
Bese ke leya nombolo yokuqala lebe kubhalwa kuyo kwamele ibhalwe futhi nakulelinye ikhasi elilandelelayo.
So in other words, Colonel, what you're telling the court is that if the person has been injured, steps will be taken to have that person examined, and the details thereof must be entered in the occurrence book.
That's correct.
Manje uthi umuntu uma ingabe ehloliwe noma esiwe kudokotela kwamele kubhalwe phansi lokho bese kuyabhalwa na kwincwadi iOB uthi yebo iqiniso.
Yes.
And then paragraph 6, a submission of written report concerning torture to station commander. Paragraph 1.
Uyafunda ke ukuthi uma ingabe umuntu elimyaziwe noma eshayiwe na paragraph 1 ithi
Whenever a person in custody is examined by a medical service provider provided by the state,
umuntu ongaphakathi esitokisini uma ikuthi uye wahlolwa ehlolwa ngumbuso,
the medical practitioner must be requested to supply the station commander with a written report which must include the following.
udokotela kwamele acelwe i-station commander ukuthi amnike i-report yokuthi ubhaleni abhale nalezinto ezilandelelayo.
Any statements made by the person concerned which are relevant to the medical examination,
Statement esiyenzwe yiloyo muntu esihlanganisane na lokuthi bamemhlole,
including the description by the person concerned of his or her state of health and any allegation of torture that he or she may have made.
aphinde abhale nokuthi lo muntu lo uthe yena mhlawumbe ushayiwe noma ulinyaziwe.
A description of the objective medical findings based on the medical examination,
Aphinde abhale udokotela ukuthi yena udokotela uboneni kulo muntu.
the conclusions of the medical practitioner in the light of subparagraph A and B.
Abhale nokuthi isinqumo sakhe yena ubona ukuthi lo muntu lo ugula uphethwe yini noma kwenzakala naye.
Whenever a complaint regarding torture is made to a medical service provider by a person in police custody,
Uma ingabe umuntu olethiwe noma oboshiwe atshela udokotela
and the medical service provider is of the opinion that the examination revealed indications to tend to confirm such allegations,
yena udokotela bese ubona ukuthi lezinto lezi lo muntu azishoyo ziyahambiselana,
the community service center commander or station commander must request the medical practitioner to send a copy of the written report to the nearest office of the independent police investigative directorate.
iphoyisa leli elisebenza la kuvulwa khona amacala kwamele lona licele udokotela ukuthi abhale incwadi ayithumele kumaphoyisa ukuthi ayophenya.
The community service center or station commander must ensure that the matter is reported in accordance with paragraph 4 of the National Instruction 6 of 2014, the prevention and combating of torture of persons.
Futhi lokho kwamele kuhlanganwe nomthetho siseko oyikuthi wabekwa ngokushawa nokulinyazwa kwabantu ababoshiwe.
The written report received by the station commander must be filed with the relevant warrant and body receipts.
Bese
Remand
ke
warrant.
nguye uMkhani.
Yes.
Detention with the following: Musi September Sibana,
Uthi umuntu obekalethiwe uyena uMusi Sithemba Sibana,
SAPS 14/5/7/2020,
wabhalwa ke nenombolo ukuthi yena wayekade evalelwe ngakweyiphi nombolo.
SAPS 14A R1394878.
Kubhalwe ke futhi nayo leyo nombolo ye 1394878.
Charged possession of illegal ammunition,
Wayekade ethweswe amacala wokuba nenhlavu ezingekho emthethweni.
next of kin informed,
Umuntu owakubo watshelwa.
sorry my lord, I can't read this word. And
In any case, Marata, see we close to the normal sitting time when we are adjourned at this stage to see the witnesses so struggling with the heat in this courtroom.
Is the camera available tomorrow?
that's correct.
Okay, we adjourn until tomorrow 10.